good morning, evening, afternoon, or whatever time zone you happen to be in, audience. Welcome to, I believe, the first run of the Full Moon Group as we see Funnelcakes, a pink puff who did very well in that league run by our resident friend Oscar, coming up against, you know him, some people claim to love him, 4K rated, second day tournament participant, mythic storybook brawl runner, Possumorpheus. I am joined today by everybody's favorite harp fan, Harumph, in the booth with me, and we have our resident Irishman Psychonaut doing the restream, and we've got Bardic Panda pushing all the buttons and keeping Possum from eating them. How are you doing tonight, Harumph?
I was doing okay here, and then I saw objective number 7.
You know, we saw it, we love it, you hate it. It is a divisive objective, if nothing else. So how are you feeling tonight about the objectives, aside from number 7? How are you feeling about the run? Looks like we have a Sid start. That's always a strong start for these. I see Possum going with a very strong naming scheme. I'm surprised that Martin is Sid. I feel like Tella usually takes that spot, but apparently Inven is the resident old man in the house.
Yeah, we could debate here about the placement of some of these names here. In terms of the objectives, though, here we've got Baron Key. Baron Key is going to be key here. It's two of your objectives right there because both Baron Castle spots are required this time around.
Yep, so that's going to make it a very one they'll want to see early, but not too early, since there's some things in the Baron basement that are pretty free, and other things that are much less free.
We want nothing but the best for our runners. Isn't
Yes,
that right?
no, I don't do commentary whatsoever in order to enjoy Schadenfreude regarding terrible placements like Kainatsu at Rubicante spot with a hook route.
Or having that Algon behind the Ogopogo spot here, guarding that Baron Key. But
Nope, and so looking over, I mean, everybody, for the most part, Adamant flags, so the group's flags are quite a bit kinder before we get to the brackets, so things like Adamant armors are actually turned on. I believe is it T Pro, if I'm remembering correctly, with max tier 7, so which one is it?
We got T Wildish max tier
even
7
better.
here,
So T Wildish max 7, so there's a lot of fun stuff that you can pull out of treasure chests. I know there's been a lot of debate among players, first running things. Do you go for, Castle Evelyn for loot? But let's see who our second party member and our starting key item is. Well, Harumph, you have joined the group, and they got a hook.
So the Nightmare hook route dream is alive. Won't be Evil Wall on the hook route though here, because Evil Wall is playing the role of Baiken today.
Indeed, and they will be happy to see that.
Yeah, it's a kinder place to see that here for sure. But yeah, like
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, our runners are probably going to be looking for gear right now here. We have C Neki on here, so each of our characters will have a tier, a weapon or a bow and arrow combination here of tiers anywhere from tier 1 to 4. Both of them are going to go check that free item. They're going to pay a visit to the Edward in Bed, the Bedward.
Yep, and interesting with a slight variation, Funnel deciding that he is going to save so he can reset out if it ends up being something that they don't end up needing. Possum just walking on in. One thing to mention, the rat tail, nice. So two interesting things to mention. One is that the spoon flag is on, so that Edward that they started with, if they find the spoon early, not nearly as much of a detriment as you might experience otherwise. And then the second piece being that with Bedward being on, that means that they are not hunting for demist, which can be quite a relief, because sometimes that's buried in a very nasty place and has exactly what you need in order to proceed.
And we're seeing a bit of divergence here. Funnelcakes is going to go to the Evelyn Castle first off here to do some looting. Possum looking to launch the hovercraft right away here to turn in that presumably to turn in that rat tail and see um, if that leads to another key item here. Things could
Yeah,
chain really quickly.
I also
Potentially.
wonder too if he's gonna check Eblin Cave, right? That's a gated character check. So under these flag sets, Fu and Cecil are only in gated locations. So it's a chance to get a Fu or a Cecil out of Eblin Cave. Also, being able to just loot Eblin Cave rather than the castle, you're only dealing with one trap chest and a ton more chances for loot, especially under the Wildish flag sets. Interesting, and the rat tail giving the package, so no immediate value there. Um, Especially because we do not have Burn the Village Mist as one of our objectives, but does give a second key item, which will, give an advantage towards wanting to get that 10 for the experience bonus.
Funnelcakes here just continuing to loot here, trying to find those trap chests here to presumably be able to loot everything else eventually here. We are here seeing some items which could be potentially useful for other characters here. Like there's an ogre axe here at one point here. There was also a light sword if you do find a Cecil here. There was a white spear in the castle as well here for a Kane.
Interesting. Possum checking the package and finding Edge, and it looks like he's going to go through the cutscene for this.
Yeah, that's unlike with Cecil and Fuso here being our restricted characters here. Edge in this flag set is taken out of the restricted pool here. So yes, there is an Edge here, but if you're going to take the Edge here, it doesn't preclude the possibility of Edge being elsewhere here at another free spot, such as Mount Hobbs, the Baron Inn, for example.
And I just noticed on Funnelcake's side, he just spiked a Murasame out of Castle Eblin. So if Possum ends up checking there, that is good gear for the ninja he's picking up.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Possum does eventually check the Eblin Castle spot here. It is given how T Wildish works here, the chests it favors higher tier at that location. So,
well, I was just gonna say, having that Edge, if he can find even like one or two decent pieces for Edge is very capable of taking down a lot of those trap chests in Castle Eblin. So
the neck flag here negates a lot of the starting advantage that you would have with Edge here because he doesn't have like the full gear of bandana, black belt, two swords right away here. But T Wildish kind of negates that here because you are highly likely to find decent hardware such as the Mura here, and there's tier 7s you can find lying around here. You can land into stuff, or tier 6, tier 7s. You can land into like power shirts and Zeus Skull. Let's see here. Masamune, I believe, is tier 7. Yeah, it might happen to find one of those all your travels if you loot in the right places.
Oh, and interesting, Possum finding a Val. Not the most fun, putting on some gear for Edward and then, putting it on you, Harumph, and then electing to use a Vampire. Which
won't work here because magic defense is too high.
Yeah, so Possum, interestingly enough, might have to figure out a little bit of a different strategy on how he wants to try and tackle. This Val is not going to be easy with this party. Definitely doable, but he's going to need to try and get in a hit or two before Val tornadoes up to try and finish it. In the meantime, we've got Funnel going through Antlion Cave, and hopefully we'll see our next Jack. This is going to be interesting. He got some good gear out of Castle Eblin. Nothing that I saw that was a major power-up for the party members he has, but hey, if you're gonna find a free fight, you don't want to see it here, but we have King Queen Eblin in Antlion.
Yeah, like, this isn't gonna take a whole lot of time here, but yeah, you want to see your nasty bosses here, and you want to see King Queen Eblin here someplace much kinder here, like Cave Value, for example. Have that be a free
Yep. And Woobear correctly calling it out with the battle speed low, and Edward being faster than Sid. Some agility manipulation allows Possum to have Edward get the vampire off before the tornado and just one-shots Val. So he now has his ninja after a slight speed bump.
We'll have we're being seeing here whether another edge may have been elsewhere.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we get to see if Possum decides to spy who's in the bed, because Sand Ruby is an objective. And that would be good information to have in his back pocket, but he might, looks like he's going over there now. Let's find out who it is.
Yep. Funnelcakes meantime only found a glass hat, which will be protection against physical attacks here for one of your party members.
And as Goober is pointing out, that is a Cecil in the bed in Kaipo.
Yeah, so you know that if you happen to find that crystal sword, that XL, that's sometimes inevitable to find.
Even the lightsaber that Funnel already picked up. And Berserk pointing out that Possum got himself an Earth Hammer for that Sid. So if you wanted discount Quake, there you go. And Water Hag guarding Kane on Hobbs. This is a good pickup.
Yep, that white spear. Yeah, not only here is that physical attack here, but early on here, you just use the spear as an item. It'll cast white. Not very well, but
no, indeed. So that's a good pickup. It's interesting to see the diversion here. I don't, even with the edge, I don't know if Possum has quite the punch to be able to take the trap chest. So we'll see how that goes. I know that he's not even trying, and I know the Murrah is in one of the side towers, not up the center. I believe it was on the left, so we'll see how quickly he's able to get that.
Well, there's an Ogre Axe in the right tower here, so the Mad Ogre chest here might be tempting. Once
does Sid have enough? Does Sid have enough to HP and defense to manage that though? Because he doesn't have. I don't think he bought a rune ring, which would have been a nice proof from Giant's item. Yeah. So I don't know if he's got quite the staying power.
Possum hasn't done the Antline Cape either here, so no glass hats.
Yes.
For that either.
Alright, in the meantime, we have Funnel saying, hey, I got a white spear. Good thing to have. And I believe he's going to be slapping gear on and taking a trip to defend Fabul.
Party is in. Still, Raleigh wouldn't mind finding a mage at some point.
This party is either looking for some Cure 3s with that Sid, or a white mage, yeah.
And we did find silk webs at well, I think there's one in the kit already though, in the starting kit. I did see one in Funnelcakes side here. I'm not sure if he looted that here.
I didn't catch if that was the loot. I mean, honestly, having an extra silk web in your pocket is great. There's certain bosses that are nice to have it for. And when you're like me and you inevitably use your silk web too soon on Z, it's nice to have the second to throw out.
And we've got orbs attacking Fabul.
Okay, so relatively free then, so far, which means, as the audience, we can just hope that some of those other bosses that we love to see are in the nasty places.
Yeah, Possum is
doing his loot. He does have the Ogre Axe. He decides not to. With the Ogre Axe, I would have debated trying to take that Stale Man chest, but maybe he just feels like he doesn't have enough power.
Yeah.
It's also...
Yeah, the thing with the Staleman is that they have a really nasty habit of making your party members fall asleep here, so that...
that is true.
Like an awkward fight at times.
And with the package check and the wipe to Val, Possum might be feeling a little bit behind. Plus, if you already know where the single trap chest is in Evelyn, the rest of the looting is free. in the cave, so that's another consideration I'm sure he's taking into account.
Alright.
In the meantime, Funnel has dropped the orbs, and we will find out if Fabul has the value. Show me value. That is
Some value.
That is a definition of value.
That is objective number 4 available. 2 character checks and a treasury.
So, Harumph, if you were in these racers' shoes, which side would you more likely be on? Would you be going through Cave Evelyn right now, or would you be chasing all the overworld checks?
Because if I had an exit spell, I would be inclined to check Evelyn, because I don't have a source of exit right now here. If I don't have a source of exit, like an item or whatnot here, I'd probably be doing. I would consider checking your objectives here and going up Zot.
Indeed, and speaking of needing a white mage, Possum picks up Rosa, and did find a dancing dagger for that Edward for now.
And at the ruby spot, we'll have at least 1/4 of a leg. It might be full leg. It might be a quarter leg.
It could be quarter.
We don't know yet. Let's look at the save here. Well, we'll check him first here. He doesn't go up. No, he doesn't.
No, I don't think you take the hook route at this point. I don't think he has the power for it. And there's still a lot of overworld checks still to make. As you're pointing out, it's a little bit rough. He does not have the exit caster. So he's kind of got to walk his way out of the cave. It's not crippling, but it's not a feel-good thing either. And we see Funnel electing to take that edge as well. I can't remember who pointed it out in the chat, but there is only one duplicate in the seed total. So if you're seeing edge here, this is probably most likely the only place he's showing up.
So Funnel would probably it's likely going to go through process of take the edge here. It's going to have an easier time at the battle fight because Kane, worst comes to worst here, Kane can jump, take Val out of the.
Most likely
with
a White Spear Kane will one-shot Val with, unless it's a terrible roll and he misses. But as you say, either way, it drops the whirlwind. Somebody punches and should be good.
Kane is known for betraying though here, so let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I mean, we can live the commentator dream and really hope for something to go awry, but Funnelcakes has been running the seed brilliantly, I think. Feels like in some ways, aside from those Cave Evelyn checks, he's a little bit ahead of Possum, having made quite a few more checks at this point. He's running really well. I'm very glad to see this, as both of these runners just working really strongly in the early 15 minutes to try and clear as much of the overworld as they can. Possum heading in to go get his glass hat.
Yeah, Funnelcakes will be getting the edge shortly here. We'll see if he gets that advanced, that foreknowledge of where Cecil will be. And who knows, Cecil might not even, if that Sand Ruby comes late enough here, Cecil might not even play. So you may want to balance between your desire to have a Cecil who can swing for the fences, or making do with what you have at the party here and making the best of the resources you have that become available to you. Right. So Funnelcakes has.
All right, and Funnel just holding A and punching his way through Val, zero problem. So awesome for him. He picks up his ninja, and he's now at 4 characters as well. So that is full parties, max party size 4 in this flag set, and I think we're going to see a treasury raid and possibly going up a tower.
And this is a max tier 7 treasury here, so there can be a lot of great stuff here. Or we could get, 18 cabins. We certainly don't hope for that, but we'll find out. Well, we thought we were going to raid the other treasury as well here, but no, we're just going to...
And I believe, as I recall, I think it's time to rate this treasury.
Rate that treasury!
This is going to be armor over 10, but that is some
Yeah.
pretty nice pieces of armor. That is, I think I counted 2 power shirts, a
Sure.
white shirt, and a heroine robe. So, Funnel is eventually going to get that Rosa, and right now, Edge and Sid are going to, or Edge and Kane probably more likely, are going to be punching very hard, especially now that he's got some actual weaponry.
Don't discount that crystal armor either. Here, that sells for a lot. Here, you can buy a lot of sirens with that.
When, like you've pointed out, we're gonna have to get Cecil with the Sand Ruby, depending on how soon that shows up. Don't discount. Yes, you can't berserk a character with crystal armor on, but back row crystal sword cover strat or crystal armor cover strats, 100% a thing, and very very strong if used correctly.
Yep, you can save that adamant armor for people who need it, like Eddie.
All right, and does Possum take the cane? Yes, looks like he does.
And
And speaking of bosses you don't want to see in position, seeing Water Hag at Hobbs is not what you want to see. You want this nested somewhere much nastier.
I'm just happy it's not the alt column up there.
Yeah, because that does leave room for it to be sent room aware much worse.
Of course.
Like Ogopogo.
Funnelcakes with making it a save, and we'll see who the first of our 2 bosses at the tower is. We got a flavor of Mylon. And it's the Thriller Party. This won't be an issue. The lit ones here are doing dumb but not manageable damage for the party. And yeah, there'll be enough firepower here for the four fighters here to punch through. Possum is now making his way here to Fagul here, and will fend off the cannonball attack.
Yep, and Vitasia asking, right now from a pure check perspective, yes, Possum needs to do Fagul, Funnel is up on Zot, so that's the difference, and Funnel has not touched Cave Eblin yet, but as Mechalin points out, Funnel has much more loot out of Castle Eblin, because Possum only did, I think, just did right tower and called it good. He did the middle and then hit monsters and decided to just nope out on that piece.
Alright, so we still have a few overworld checks here, like available here. Once aside from Earth Crystal here, I believe we still have Ordeals, and we have the Baron Inn.
Yep, nobody has spied Baron in yet, so we don't know which character is there. And as you point out, yes, nobody has gone to Ordeals yet. Not completely surprising because we don't have a Tella, we don't have a Cecil yet.
Mylon and his zombie friends go down. Funnelcakes not going to take any chances. Playing it safe here. Going to recover here and likely save. And we'll find out here which characters are up top. Just make a few adjustments here before going in. So we have a Leviathan. It's going to be at the Dwarf Castle here. We have an old man in Tella.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what the second character ends up being.
And whether here Funnelcakes takes either of them here.
Oh,
That's a Palom, I believe. Yes, you got some. Yeah, there's some consideration here. It looks like Edwin makes way for the Tela here, and Palom is sent right back here to the Tower of Wishes in Mysidia.
Yeah, and I don't, this play makes sense to me. I'm curious to see. Well, we now know that it is quarter leg on the hook route. But I was gonna say it makes sense with that Tela. We have not seen a curse ring yet, so it definitely makes sense as a good target for somebody to be an anchor.
Yeah, but yeah, the magic hits hard at this spot here, so
yeah, that was just a casual 7,500.
Yeah, but having having access to the Blizzard, having access to the Boreas here, able to make quick work.
And I wasn't sure if Funnel had sold it, but at some point he did have a Blizzard Spear in his inventory. I didn't see if he swapped off the White Spear to the Blizzard Spear to make that a little bit easier.
And he was up. It's all up in the air because Kane was jumping. But
yep. And Woo Bear calling out, this is a consideration to make, is if you use Wall and bounce spells against the elements, the switching characters never triggers. And so basically, Tela can just drop Fire 3s on the Mylon part of elements and just completely push through it.
And the at the top of the tower, Zot is required here. You maybe would have liked to see a key item change, but you're never going to say no to an X-Cal.
Nope, and that majorly ups the value of that Cecil sitting in the bed in Kaipo. And we have Funnel now routing in, doing Ogopogo and Baron in 1 for Iridia.
Yep. Showing some efficient routing here, like as well.
No, I think this is a very heads-up routing play. This time managed to keep the edge alive, which is good, getting some experience there. That was probably one of the minor regrets.
And we have the other Mylon.
Oh, wow, and White Spear Kane, so that'll be quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a small miss for Funnel. It's losing that edge to the 7,500 damage glare. Really, you want to get edge as much experience as you can to really start getting those multipliers up to really start doing damage.
Yeah, in the early game here, it's it's more of a, I think it's more of a nice to have here because you're going to be running into fights here too and have they're going to ramp you up faster here. So sure, like losing out isn't great here, but there'll be plenty of chances to catch up.
And a defense sword. Some people prefer the White Spear. Personally, I'm a defense sword kind of guy, but a great piece of gear either way for Kane.
You have options, and you can throw either of them. Edge can throw either of them here, so
that is fair too. I would say also, like if we hadn't just found that X-Cal out of Zot, would have been a great piece for Cecil as well. It's a middling Cecil sword, one of Kane's best. You know how this goes.
Yeah. Funnelcakes is going to make trip up ordeals here. It has that Tela here, so we'll want to give him some extra utility. Tela's a serviceable anchor, and at lower levels here, or if you have, you can give him a curse ring if you find one along the way here. But has once upgraded here, once he learns all of his spells, all of his spells here, he's got a lot of utility here as well.
He does, and also because another option that they do have is Funnel having gotten that Iridia out of Baron Inn. Level 1 Iridia, 1 agility, great anchor if you end up having agility problems and you just really need that option. The only downside being that right now as Funnel's team is set up, you don't have a good source of Berserk and you don't have a good source of any white magic that isn't Tela. Some people kind of poo-poo Tela as not the greatest of mages. I would argue he is possibly the best utility mage in the game. He's not the best healer, he's not going to do the best damage, but he gives you a lot of options.
Yes, agreed here. And we saw that here at past tournaments here, where Tele here, who may have been maligned in the past here, is really was really starting to show his worth, especially uh, in fights here where having that additional access to Berserk here, but also having that access to Hero 4, but having access to like stuff like Toad, like stuff like Toad here, stuff
Size, weak.
size, even your level 3 elementals against the right bosses. Yeah, they all.
Yeah, and Possum electing to just stick with his current party, and it looks like he's going to use Sid to anchor. Also, not a bad choice, especially like I said, Sid is one of the best white mages if you can just find a giant stack of Cure 3s. Alright, and funnels through the back attack, and let's see what he's going to get off the top of Ordeals. Possum picking up his X-Cal.
We have a Luca
The
key.
Luca key, interesting. So not strictly required, but this is going to look like an amazingly good play if it turns out that the key item you need is nestled down there.
And this is another fight you don't necessarily want to see at the Ordeal spot, because you want to see it here at a higher difficulty spot here. So that is with regards here, there are with no bosses not being on here, there are ways to make that fight easier. Like Toads, hourglasses, stuff you can stone spell cast, stuff like that.
No, for sure. And this will be... I'm curious to see if Possum decides to actually go to Ordeals, because he does not currently have anything to really push him in that direction, right? He didn't take the Tella. Cecil's still in Kaipo. So I'm curious to see whether he just goes hook routes. And he is taking the Rydia. It'll be interesting to see if this is a floor Rydia, or if this is a let's level this up and have Rydia cast Leviathan, since I believe it was Carice might have pointed out that Leviathan is in the Cave Eblin shop.
Funnelcakes here, like once we get underground, because first here we need to make sure here that we're able to get underground here. But if I was going to say here, if Luca did have that key here, if Possum wasn't going to go up Ordeals, that would be something you would want to look at. But Possum looks like is going to make that same trip here. So yeah, we forgot that what it's going to has turned out to be a very even match so far, at least in the first phase here. But we still have a lot of key items to find.
Yeah, for now it's been, because it's the forced hook route, we're seeing a lot of the same, though. Interesting, okay. Funnel deciding to take the trap chests in Eblin. How do you feel about this play, Hiram?
Like, you're looking to, like, you might be able to see, to spike that that tier 8 treasure here. You can find more Adamant armors. It's not just the one that you would turn into the Pinktail for here. You can find it, a second, third, if you're lucky. Funnelcakes also doesn't have the knowledge of who's at the end of the hook route either. So this is also levels.
That is very true. I mean, now Funnel's going to have better information, because he's going to know it is in fact the elements, because he's already killed Ruby.
There's still the potential here for really fun nastiness here, like a Dark Knight Cecil at the King Queen Eblin spot, fun stuff like that. We do see a Moonveil in the Mad Ogre chest here, which could come in useful against a few bosses they might run into here. As we're talking, maybe we would take them on a little earlier here than you would typically want to. Hidden Save here is going to make use of the Tele toolbox. Looks like Stone is being prepared, and as long as Tele can stay up, at least they'll have a chance to cast it. And it lands.
And it lands. That is... Wow. You know what? I didn't think you could stone the stalemate. I don't think I ever did that in this fight. I typically cast other stuff. So... Oh, and that makes an interesting thing. Spiking a Bahamut Orb. That's either a lot of money, or Rydia suddenly gets a lot more attractive.
It's usually still money for me here, but It might tempt Possum. I don't think it will. If Possum even goes, decides to even check the trap chest here. Funnelcakes is going to check that third one here, and we'll see what.
I would just like to thank chat for joining me in the fact that we didn't know that you could stone that fight, because I certainly never did, even in Fuario. So now I feel a little dumb.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense because they're stone men here. Stone is basically.
As I think Cossack put it, more stone, extra stone.
It's some pretty rocky logic there.
I see what you did there. I mean, in my defense, in Fuario, I usually just cast Quake and called it good. But
and there was an Avenger.
That is an excellent pickup.
Kane's eyes started to glow a little bit redder.
He's slightly less Mr. Mediocre now that he's got an Avenger. And if they get if they get that Sand Ruby and that Cecil somewhere early, that's also going to be a very nice payoff. Being able to Avenger glitch an Excal is chef's kiss. Beaten out only by Avenger glitching the Crystal Sword or the Lightbringer.
Yeah, no, we won't have a Lightbringer here because the Forge will always be the Excal with its leg set here. But being able to Avenger glitch the Cecil here and then having Edge being able to throw the Excal afterwards. You wouldn't want to do that to the very end, obviously, but not some fun to be had there.
But that is the fun big brain plays that we love to see on stream.
Funnelcakes sells both the Odin and the Bahamut summons orbs.
Rydia is not, in fact, in his future.
No. Buying a lot of coffins, though.
So, I don't know about that. 10 coffins. What do you have left that is coffinable? You've got the Imps?
Yeah, the Imps, you have the Kaipo Guards.
Kaipo Guard, but that feels like... Is that it? I mean, he might be keeping them for eggs, which if he gets some Sirens, I don't hate that play, because then you don't have to worry about breaking them, but...
Yeah, well... If you have the money, it's better to have more than less here. We'll see if money becomes, if the money crunch does come into play for Funnelcakes here. But with T Wildish, typically you'll be finding enough stuff here where you don't have to worry about running out of cash.
Yeah, and just to respond to chat, Carice, Possum was already in here once. He already knows the shops. He just didn't feel the need to go again. So we're not going to find out what is in the Staleman chest in Eblin, as both of our runners are going through. I'll be curious to see if anybody decides to go for the Mad Ogre chest in here, just to see what they can get out of it.
Yep. Possum will soon find the good or bad news that lies in wait at King Queen Eblin. Just going there as fast as he can, and looks like I suspect Possum might be thinking he's done with shopping, with treasure hunting for the time being. Here, is just gonna.
I mean, I kind of see it. You're gonna be, you've got a lot more checks in front of you. You've already got serviceable gear for basically the characters that you care about. Oh,
Funnelcakes found a curse string, so that's an anchor problem taken care of.
Yeah, no, that's that takes care of a lot of things, especially since I believe he still has Sid and Tella, both of which you completely work as very free anchors. Oh, and we're seeing Plague in the first spot. So this is a pretty free fight here. He's just going to need to get Berserk onto a second character, and with Rydia being in Agility 1, this is a free fight.
Yeah. Yeah, and
he's gonna have to mix in probably punching Rydia to make sure she goes down. I don't think he wants to level her, but
doesn't matter here because you don't get any levels. You don't get any experience.
Oh right, this doesn't have experience in this spot. Thank you for reminding me. I always forget that.
And then manageable fight at spot 1 here, and quarter leg here. Fox might have easy, might be able to find. Actually, no, Funnelcakes doesn't have the tell anymore. Eh. So yeah, so we've got nearly matching parties here, except that Funnelcakes has the Sid instead of the Rydia.
Yeah, I mean, and with the curse string on a Sid, I mean, there's not a huge amount of reason to take that Rydia.
Yeah.
Funnel electing to go back, just play it a little safer. I don't know if Possum is just going to try to punch through this, or if he's got a plan to push to this. Oh, I did not notice he put the rune axe onto Kane, but somewhat inexplicably, Ruby in the Elements fight counts as a mage. So that is why suddenly we're seeing so much damage coming out from Kane with that rune axe.
Oh, that was completely by design, I'm sure.
Yes, it's functioning as intended.
Yeah, this is an expertly crafted game. There are no bugs, only features. Right, yeah, so we have both of these here. Once you get everyone... We're seeing similar strategy. Everyone's getting zerked up.
Yep, and we'll see. So, interesting change-up. I didn't see what Kane had before the adventure went on, but if it is the rune axe, that could do some things. We'll see.
I didn't catch whatever. It couldn't. Yeah. And then Sid has an axe of his own here, but I don't think that Sid is back row glitched. So it's. I don't recall seeing a dwarf axe Sid, nor do I recall arrows. I might be wrong on that, but.
Yeah, this will be interesting because Possum's damage is much higher.
Yes.
Than Funnels in this fight, so definitely getting through it. He came in a little bit earlier with Funnels electing to take the save, and just the damage output with that frontline Kane with the rune axe really paying dividends as we'll see if Funnels able to get through this on the first try.
There was.
Oh, yeah, no, it was about to come.
It is able to get the change in time, so this should be smooth sailing going from Sid's playing chemist. Yeah, so we're not. So we're the Funnelcakes is going to come, get through this fight here, and not too far behind Possum. So this is still a anybody's race for the taking here. No one
for sure, and I would say like
Funnelcakes
is acquitting himself extremely well. Considering Possum is not a new runner. This is, like I said, you know him. He's definitely been around. He's done really well in previous tournaments. So for Funnelcakes to be staying this close to him, that's massive credit to Funnelcakes 40 minutes in.
Yep, I mean, there'll be some people consider Possum the favorite going in here, but again, you can't discount anyone at this tournament here. And yeah, like what if you pull off the win here, what a confidence boost that would be here, especially since there are a lot of other big names in this group.
Ooh, and we have a sparkle in Dwarf Castle 1. Let's see what Possum wins.
So we've seen a Plague, we've seen a No-Go Pogo. So we still have
Paladin, D-Lunar,
Wyvern.
Everybody's favorite Wyvern? Wyvern? Is it Wyvern? That'd be great.
Yeah. Blarg!
Oh. Luckily, Possum is fast enough, but that could have been a little dicey.
Did Possum change the battle speed since?
I don't know if he has, because I think it might still be low if he was able to do 2 Star Veils.
But yeah, with
Dragon. This could be a little dicey. So he's putting Kane into the middle for Funnelcakes, and he's about to walk into Wyvern.
Well, you hope you save first. And the other utility mage. the superior utility mage.
I was going to say, the better utility mage shows
The
up.
fully powered vanilla at this point.
Yeah,
as
do
well.
you think that a nuke might be coming out? Because, oh, it looks like you might be casting virus instead. We'll see.
Yeah, it's faster animation and yeah,
And with Edge and Fu up, it's free enough.
Yeah, we'll see what Luca's wearing and being regifted to the party. And Funnelcakes might be in for a bad time in 10, 15 seconds. You know what's coming here, and you're kind of dreading it here as a viewer.
Yep. Come on, Funnel, please get this off. Come on,
Oh,
you can do it.
Wait,
This
Kane was
is he gonna be
adventured.
fast enough?
Kane was adventured here, so I think he buffered.
Oh my, yeah, he's got 2 off, so he's through 2. Now the question is, I feel like here for Funnelcake, if I was Funnelcake, I feel like I am out Sid for the food.
Yeah, so
Because
I
you're
would
still
agree.
it's your 5 agility anchor, you've got a curse string, and there's just way more utility out of the foo than you're gonna get out of Sid. Sorry to say.
Yeah, because you could have Rose, because with the curse string here you're flexible with who you want to have as your anchor here. With a party like this, eventually, well, Funnelcakes decides differently here. Decides to ditch the Rosa here, which
I can kind of see it. She was still level 1. I think Berserk now actually ironically pointed out that she didn't get Berserk. So you're really just relying on that Avenger for your work. So he might feel just, you've got a perfectly serviceable anchor. You don't have to anchor Foo, and now you can throw nukes around while still using Sid as your anchor. So it's, I could see it.
Yeah, and because eventually here Fu will probably be the anchor at this point with that curse string here. Just rounding out your party here until you find Funnelcakes might be banking on that Cecil here showing up earlier rather than later, which we may not have the luxury here, but even a Cecil is still pretty good here, even later on, I think, because you can just get a few levels here. You're gonna have an Adamant armor here, so that'll help help bolster him here, even at even a 1500 1600 HP only. So yeah, you don't need that many levels here to get Cecil up and running here if you find him later.
Slight divergence here. Possum hitting the Fey March while we've got Funnel doing the Yang check. I mean, I can see the logic here with the Yang check. I guess, to me, does it make more sense to check the Fey March just on the off chance that Fey March is the pan?
Well, we found a Sand Ruby, so
well, you're going there. You're going there anyway. I'm just trying to. Oh, I missed that Dwarf Castle was the pan. That makes more sense.
Yeah. But the Fey March has the Sand Ruby. That's your Cecil. So presumably here hopefully here we see kind of overlapping, where Funnelcakes may decide to check the freebie here before going up, but no, it's just actually going to go up and.
Nope, he's just going to go and
checks first.
Turn in the pan. Yep. Which, I mean, it's 2 checks. And what do we got? We got a Baigan, and I missed the second one.
Dark Elf.
Okay.
I believe.
And with the White Spear, this is going to be pretty simple for Possum.
Yeah.
The one advantage Funnel still has is getting that Avenger as a major power boost for Kane. Because Funnel's Foo in this case would just be able to cast Nuke while Kane just slaps the Avenger on and goes to town.
Yeah, we'll see if Sheila has any potential goods that will
Okay.
So we have an
Not great
adamant,
on the.
and
It's.
so we do have an objective here. If you could call it that.
We'll, for the sake of argument, call it an objective due to the fact that it is on our screens. I would like just to say, for all the people that love the Twin Harp, I am Twin Harp agnostic, so please level all of your hate at or up.
I'm used to the propaganda of the Harp from the Harp cartel.
I know. I was gonna say you've already been marked by the Harp cartel, so it can't do any more damage.
Ooh, that's spicy.
That
Dark Elf
is.
has a pink tail.
So that's at least the one assured adamant armor in the seed.
For on Possum's side here, turn in that sand ruby for this to get your Cecil. Slap the adamant armor on him. That's gonna be all the adamant armor you need.
Pretty much.
Funnelcakes is taking that chain here, and this is where the Possum might start getting that advantage here because of having checked the Fey March first here, because he's has that.
Because he can go up and kind of do both at once.
Yeah.
And the only thing he'll have to come back down for is Luca and Tower.
Yeah.
I think this pays off maybe for Funnel if this is the Baron Cape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The worst thing it could be is potentially Darkness Crystal. Well,
that would really throw things off, yeah.
Yeah, especially here if, say, the Baron key is behind that Beigen here, or at the top of Babel. That could potentially be bad news, especially if he decides to chase the Darkness Crystal check here. But I am contractually obligated here to quiet down because apparently Edward is going to play a song for us.
And away we go.
Not sure what song that was. What I do know is that at least the Twin Harp chain is a terminal chain for Funnelcakes. That will lead them back here to the other remaining checks here on Earth here. So probably a good thing
I
here.
was
But
also going to say, I feel like you've been vindicated in your Fading Harp arguments due to the fact that it was just a white shirt.
And yeah, there was already one at the Troya Treasury. Anyways, here, yeah, it's not like here. If there was a key out of here, I would not be vindicated here. I always feel here that Fading Harp is the right thing to do, and music is your reward for finishing the game.
And interesting, Possum electing to drop Edge in order to take Cecil.
I don't hate the move. Uh, yeah, like
No,
it's Edge is a little bit harder here to get gear going for him here. Um, you know, it's at these levels here. It's probably a toss up between the two.
yeah, I mean, I think if I were Funnelcakes, it would have made a little bit more sense to me just because it's like, okay, I've got an Avenger,
I could
which
hear, yeah.
drastically to me improves, Kane's utility. But
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
I kind of am with you though. Like Edge just does take a few more levels to get going. Um, they both have good agility gains, and neither of these parties I think are going to have an issue when it comes to anchoring. So makes sense.
And Funnel Cakes is going to take the Luca chain here. So you are seeing, some divergence in the checks here, but uh, the adage of check your freebies might be again is might be rearing its ugly head, and might be a feel bad moment here once he goes down and does find that sand ruby down there.
Yeah, I don't hate this as much. Even if he goes and finds the sand ruby, yes, the sand ruby gives you an objective. Yes, it gives you it gives you a Cecil, but it is still a dead end, right? It's not that the sand ruby is the fulcrum upon which he's going to be able to just dominate everything. So, I mean, I don't hate this play of at least finding out what the heck is in
Ooh,
Luca.
that did not bear. Well, that did bear fruit, just not the type of fruit you want to see.
No, so that means that. Does that mean the play is Keyless Tower for the Darkness
Kinos Tower
Crystal?
or Baigen.
Or Baiken. Good call.
I mean, required boss at required key item here at the Leviathan spot here. Who rolls that kind of stuff? Yeah, usually here I had to contractually obligate myself twice. Awesome has his white shirt here, I guess. Funnel
Well,
Cakes going after the Dark Elf spot here, and we'll see if he goes
yep.
after Baigen afterwards.
And I was gonna point out too, just because as much as I know you wanted to put the objective out of your mind, Cave Magnus was required, so not nearly the same feel bad as it could have been.
Oh, it's still a feel bad anytime you
I
see a
mean,
Twin Heart
yes,
show
but
up.
oh, and we've got a white going off. Oh, this is on Dark Elf. I don't know why I was thinking this was Pale Dim. I'm like, oh, direct casting on Pale Dim. That's a choice, but this is in fact safe.
Yep, no, it's not. It's weak against holy attacks here, but the holy spell does the exact opposite.
Because Final Fantasy IV is a well-coded game that makes
Yeah.
all the sense. Oh, interesting. And Possum changing his mind.
Yeah.
And electing to slap a couple of swords that he bought off of Amazon onto his ninja.
Man, you have that flexibility here with this flag set here, because I don't remember hearing which past tournaments in a few tournaments in the past year. Once a party member goes here, you don't get the option to get them back. Not so in this case. In the Adamant Cup, you can visit back here if you send someone a little too early here. You miss them a little too much. Funnel Cakes looks like it's going to splurge a little bit for hotel stay in the Fade March here, stay a night here, wake up 2 months later.
Yeah, I like how they kind of skip over, like, after just hand-waving that Rydia grew up, like, that you can just sleep and that somehow doesn't affect things. Yeah, no, it's fine. Everything's fine.
Either that here or your 1200 GP is going towards a 5-minute stay, and I don't think that's good value for money.
Not as much. All right. Oh, and I did not catch that we've got double moon veils on Funnel's side. That actually makes this a very relatively safe fight for Baigan. Normally, this is a pretty nasty spot for him.
Yeah, the one thing you would potentially, the one hiccup you might run into here is if the case where you only have like one or two parties left here, and you take out the main body before the arms, especially if the arms are have been recently regenerated. That could be not so bad here, but
okay. And I think Kane went down before he entered the queue, so hopefully that moon veil didn't just get burned. Okay, and we have Possum now exiting out of his Luca. Is he going to go for the tower, it looks like, rather than the Fey March? So he is not doing Baigan. So we will see which of these plays pays off. It's one or the other.
Up here we have Funnelcakes here using Quake here to slow down the attacks from Baigan.
He does still need to put some damage out because Quake works well, but I think Fu gets 6.
And
or gets punched in the face.
Fu with 1 shot. But we do have Kane moon down to this point here. So Avenger Kane's going to come online. But this could be a situation here where you kind of, set the control down here, because if Sid takes 1 more punch, he's probably down for the count.
Yeah, and now that, like you were kind of speaking to, the danger is you don't have that Quake just taking out the arms, which is going to slow down this fight.
Oh, and sorry, Edge isn't berserked yet here. I thought he was, so.
Was he not? I totally thought he was.
He's just Moonveil, not berserked.
Gotcha, okay.
So. Gonna try to go for an arm lock here, for that Quake, to lock up the arms here, but this is a Baigan's being shown to be pretty speedy, so it's basically here to the arms target, just Baigan and the arms here target the right people here, and so far that hasn't been the case here. Fu's been selflessly been, putting his face in front of everyone else first, it seems. The blink will help, though. Alright, we've got knocked him off on Possum's side here, and this will be quick work here. Instead of opting here to electrify the octopus rather than to microwave the octopus. And we'll see what's up here. Oh, That's a Baron key.
So we know that was required. That was the one that's for 2 of these objectives.
Yeah.
So
Now
it'd be
this, now
interesting.
by this darkness here, this could get very interesting.
That would be very spicy.
Potentially here, if you go with this strategy, like especially if you decide, I think I'm gonna do Earth first.
Oh, and an interesting choice. Deciding to White Spear with the edge.
Alright, that goes by here. Very well executed fight on Funnelcakes' side. We'll see if this has any. We'll see what the reward is. Oh!
Well, thank you for just wishing that into existence, Harumph.
My pleasure.
This is interesting. Which of these do you... So they're
Earth would
both...
be very tempting right now here, but aside from the objective, Moon's haunted.
Yeah, I was just looking over. I mean... Okay, well, Funnel's fine. Funnels is actually... this is the better play. I was going to say, routing-wise, this is going to be in Possum's favor, because we know where the Darkness Crystal is. It's not going to be here. He's going to do Baron, and then have to go back to that Baigen.
Yeah.
But now Funnel does this, then immediately goes to the moon, and he's got his crystal. And he just needs to figure out a grind. We haven't seen Sirens yet that I've recalled.
Yeah.
But I don't know if anybody's checked Tomra. I don't even know if anybody checked Dwarf Castle.
Dwarf Castle had hourglasses. The Tomra here, I did not have Sirens either, though. So if Sirens are available for purchase, they're on the moon.
It's either that or they're sweet, sweet premium Kakol Sirens.
That would be very spicy to see him at Kakol here on standard. But we'll see what we do know here. It is a Eva wall here. The Kanatsu spot here will also be, well, at these levels here, I don't think there's any other fun bosses here you would like to see, but that would pose too much of an issue here for either of these parties. So this is actually turning out to be, in a strange way, a straight line seed. Like once Funnelcakes discovers here that we have Baron here, like that's go mode for him. Possum will have go mode here once he clears out Baron Castle, because unless Tower Key is in the basement or in the dumpster here, there won't be any other chains.
No, like Tower Key would be the only other one that could pop up that would lead him astray, so to speak. But the likelihood here is that one of these two should be a Zong. There's not too many key items left. A lot of stuff on Earth, actually.
Yeah, like for and a lot of the flag sets here, because you have so many objectives here, usually here there's like one or usually some portion of Moon is required here for a key item, not just just the completion objective of one of the lunar, either of Cave Valley here or one of the lunar altars. So this is unusual to see here so many of the required items here fairly readily accessible. We just have the Artemis arrows here, but that is the 5th objective. No, 5 of the 7 objectives now completed on Possum's side here. It's going to take a quick camp out and then head to the basement. Funnelcakes is trying to take a few of the trap chests here.
Interesting, yeah, and trying to sneak a siren or two.
Yeah, so saves the issue of having to shop for them. Also hasn't cured the Sand Ruby yet here, so maybe just a matter of routing here. A routing decision here to not take Cecil yet. would save from going up. I don't know, from going up to the overworld. No, up to overworld and back down. But yeah, looks. Yeah, grabbing a few along the way here. Oh, and we see a Dark Knight Cecil at the throne here. Speedy here, but our team will have enough HP here to live through it. With a after a well-timed cure. We'll see here if it's a tower key here. Possum might be tempted to go there. Otherwise, it's back to the Fame Arch because it's just life staff.
Yep. So Possum, I mean, not going to feel too bad. These are objectives. But he now, at this point, knows where he's got to go to get that darkness crystal. In the meantime, we have Funnel coming off the tower. So he's going to need to... Basically, he's got a little bit more of a straight line to clean up his objectives. He can go and turn in the tail. He can liberate Baron, cure the fever. I feel like the one thing he might have lost momentum-wise is with finding that Cecil a little bit late. He's kind of got to give up on him as a character at this point. I just don't think you have... I mean, I guess you could grind, but it's much more difficult with, especially because with a party size of 4, you do not get the slingshot.
No. And this could be a case where you feel comfortable here enough with the Z fight here that you're comfortable. If you're comfortable with timing your Big Bang nerfs here, you can do the fight at these levels, so you don't necessarily need to grind. Especially if the boss at Cave Bahamut is a more forgiving boss.
That is true, and I mean, and even with a low-level Cecil, Adamant armor and an X-Cal kind of forgives a lot of other sins.
Yeah, but putting that Adamant armor on a cane here or an edge here isn't a bad thing either. And in terms of damage, having a Sid as a chemist here is probably a stronger backup should things go awry here rather than a base level Rydia.
Yeah, I mean, Possum might have a little bit smoother because he's got the X-Cal Cecil, which is going to be doing a little bit more than that cane was. But yeah, we'll have to see how this plays out because this is still a rude spot for it. A little bit safer with it looks like putting that Adamant on Cecil makes Baigen a little bit less threatening on that.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about moon veils or anything of the sort here. You just have Cecil go wild here, and he'll tank everything.
Yeah, because he's berserk, so he won't be. He'll tank for his hits, but he's not. Excuse me, not going to be able to save that edge necessarily.
Again, here the one thing that could go wrong, is if arms start exploding here. But that Cecil should also be fast enough here to kill them, to knock out the arms here if the body goes after the arms are freshly revived. Yeah, but yeah, agreed. This will be a faster fight here because of that damage output here. That may end up being.
And overall, I would say this is great. They're pretty close on checks. I would put a little bit of advantage to Possum in the fact that, Funnel's going to have to do some cleanup, turning in the pink tail, and getting Cecil from Sand Ruby after having finished up the basement. Yeah. But still a very tight race. This is great to see.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing with getting Sand Ruby early here, Cecil is able to get these levels now here. I don't see Possum doing it. Needing Sirens, because he's getting his grind done along the way. Okay, Bahamut here will provide a little bit of experience as well here, and then if Possum does feel the need to, grab field levels here, may take a random encounter on the walk down to the Z fights. But yeah, we're starting to see everything here come into place for Possum here, and on Funnelcake side for that matter as well. Everything will is starting to line up here, and we're starting to see the end come relatively quickly. We're an hour 12 into this here. We've got 2 boss fights left to do.
No, indeed, and it doesn't look like, unless Cade Bahamut exactly has the pass, we're not going to really be seeing a quick route to Z. It's going to be walking the LST.
It's an opportunity here to collect your thoughts, relax here, and breathe, and make sure here you're ready here to take the fight. And ideally here, you want to make sure you're able to set yourself up here for success here. That you get through that fight here on your first try. Even at top levels here, the fight against Romus is a tricky fight here, and one wipe here, and you suddenly don't feel so good.
No, and one Z wipe, depending on how it goes, could definitely shift this race one way or another. This is still very tight, especially with walking the LST.
Right here, so we'll find out here if this final boss here provides any additional tests. Hiccups for our runners here. Adamant armor does solve a lot of problems, though. Funnelcake's making his way out of Baron here to take care of the remaining objectives on Earth before making his way to the Value Cave. And we see a turtle.
Okay, this is at least a little bit of a spicy last try. There's a decent amount of HP here. That wave is not going to be fun.
Okay. Wave doesn't care whether you're wearing an adamant armor. That door rage here a little early. But might be able to put enough. Maybe you'll put enough damage here with a nuke here, and another swing on Cecil's side here to reduce the effect of the wave enough here, so it doesn't prove to be too much of an issue. We'll see how much this goes out for.
What I was about to say, just deciding to damage race instead of.
Well, it gets 2 swings here, so yeah, this should, and the dart, yeah, this should be. This should be.
And in this case, he actually wants the wave to go off in order to make sure Rosa goes down, or Rydia goes down.
Yeah, and 700 here. Yeah, this doesn't have to worry about it from this point here. We'll have more enough firepower where we won't get to see another wave come out. And if it did here, we're looking at minimal damage here. And we already see Kane tucked away in the shell form. And yeah, one more swing or one more spell, and that will take care of that.
Yeah, and just to give a picture of how Funnel is hanging in here, I mean, we've got him turning in the Pinktail. He's now just going to need to raise the whale and go and do that fight. So definitely his runners are close. Anything happens in that Z fight, and as you kind of pointed out, Harumph, something can always happen in the Z fight, even with an adamant armor. This could get really interesting. Neither of these... Depending on the grind, neither of these teams really have the damage output to break that kind of, magic number you want to see. Possum, if he grinds a little bit more, might be a little bit closer because he can always, nuke with Fu, who's not cursed, to make that happen. But we'll see what ends up happening.
And that was a Tower Key at Cave Value here, so... Yeah, the only two other key hunts,
somehow don't think he's going to go back and check that. No. Just a guess.
If there are any more, if there is, there's at least one more key on the moon here, and they all would have been dead ends, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually in some ways I think kind of lucky that Darkness was tucked away behind Vigan, because early moon play would have been disastrous. And there are the sirens.
Awesome. Does find sirens here. Someone here will take a we'll take a few fights on the way down. Go find crack an egg here, or for Go Dragon or Warlocks here. His choice. Both will probably 10 is a lot. 10 is quite a bit though. So maybe wants to play it safe. But we'll get a peek at who this character is on the Lunar Dais.
Oh, that's our dupe, and I just somehow don't think he's going to be making it into the party. Sorry, Aruff.
Not like I would join here. I mean, Possum went to do a harp check. No. I want no part of this party. Sorry, Possum. Alright, Possum is making the trek down. Funnelcakes looks like he's going to do his grind now here. Has some hourglasses here. We'll be able to get these stopped up here to make this fight go a little smoother here. We'll see. Possible could look like he's bought the sirens just in case here. Might be just making a beeline down. Or actually, could be taking the fight, going for the Go Dragons a little bit deeper into the
Yep, the one right,
subterranean.
like 2 rooms before the save.
Yeah, there's a few places you can find the Go Dragon fight on the way down here, but I never remember the floor here. What I think it's 6.
I just remember that it's the one before you go into the extra room.
Yeah.
It's this one right here.
Yeah, right here. So we'll see. Yep. Does stop before going into the tour, and take this fight here. What up? We've had 3 sirens here. Looks like they'll be using. Is it the second one? We'll see how many fights Possum takes here. Funnelcakes did pick up a Cecil here, and we already see here like Cecil's like after one fight, Cecil's already up to 1500 HP here. With an Adamant armor here is already quite plenty here, but a little more won't hurt here to get everyone maybe up to a safer level here. Maybe get a cane here, close enough to a higher level here, so he could potentially take an unnerved Big Bang should it come to that.
Yeah, and I mean, and Edge and Cecil as well. Cecil's HP gains are kind of absurd, so it's not going to take long to get him past there. And you really don't need a huge number of levels on Cecil to be with that Excalibur and that Adamant to just make him a powerhouse. So he's going to be doing great damage. In some ways, I feel like Funnel might have the slightly safer Z fight just because of the 3 Berserkers, whereas Possum is going to be relying on 2 Berserkers and Fu. So that you don't have as many actions kind of clogging the queue. It can be a little bit dicier, but we'll see how it works out with Funnel deciding to go out, save, and then go back in to take on that turtle.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Depending on how confident you are here with the with this fight here, it's certainly a safer play here than going in, without saving here, because should something go awry here, it's not just the boss fight you're missing out on here. It's the additional fights you took here for that grind. So, want to make sure here that nothing goes wrong.
To address the chat, so John Burke, just to let you know, Funnel did pick up a cursed ring, so it would be a cursed Fu anchor.
Awesome is done his grind, has saved, and it's making the final walk down. Funnelcakes looks like he's taking a similar strat as Possum here. Power overwhelming here to get through here, to push through the HP here to make the wave a little less effective here. A little bit more damage here, but yeah, the party's still safe. But in the chat here, I'm seeing some flags here with a Z and a question mark here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're asking if I should be taking a nap. I didn't think my commentary was that boring, but you know, chat, you do you. But do you know what these are about, Haram?
Yeah, I think it's about Zormus's penchant for cosplay, because Zormus here doesn't get a chance to walk around here. He's a little, he likes his home a little bit too much here, that he doesn't like to have his, he doesn't like random relocations here, but he makes up for it here by random costuming. And he's got over 500 different, different appearances available to him. So there's a question we like to ask. Usually it's a few questions here, but Mobile, you want to do the honors?
I guess as Possum throws this crystal, whose butt are we going to be kicking tonight?
There's usually follow-up questions, is the butt cute? Is there a butt? How many butts?
Is butt, what butt, why butt?
The only know is when butt and when, and that's now. And Uber, yeah,
Well, it definitely is what it says on the tin.
There's no ambiguity here. Slightly terrifying, though.
We'll see how well Possum is able to augment this damage with Fu's nukes, because looks to be about 8 damage coming out from Cecil and Edge. That is a little risky. It puts you at risk of what people like to call the Wombo combo, which is you eat a big bang and then immediately Meteor hits. Adamant makes that slightly safer for dodging the Meteor, but we will see how this goes. That counter nuke landing perfectly for Possum.
J-Mac may disagree, but yeah.
In the scheme of things of how Possum has decided to build his party, the counter nuke landed perfectly.
Yes, it did. Alright, so it's fairly autopilot at this point here. Edge and Cecil going burr, and we will cure as needed. And Possum needs to practice here. Make sure his down inputs are still functional on his controller. And Funnelcakes now making the final walk down here. Again, very close race here, and impressively run by both our runners tonight.
And we will see if the damage is enough. It's going to depend kind of on how Cecil and Edge roll. We'll see where this counter nuke lands. Hopefully it's enough. And how is Fu going to roll? Pretty well. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's got the white shirt on, so that does help. And hopefully this was timed properly. Yeah, with 2 attacks in there, you should be timed properly for the nerf. Yeah,
that looked good. We'll have the confirmation in a moment here. Yep, that was well nerfed here, and Cecil importantly here, well over 2200 here, so we'll be able to tank more than one Meteor.
Yep, as we hit the Meteor phase, this is done for Possum.
Edge is up here. We're
controller down.
Going to see and that is the crack boom on Possumorpheus' side. He is our winner tonight here with a time of 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 20 seconds. GG's.
Indeed, and we will see if we can get El Possum in for an interview. And with that, we are joined by 4K rated, second day tournament player, mythic storybook brawl streamer, Possumorpheus. Welcome.
What an introduction. Didn't
I
feel
mean,
like
I do what
4K
I can.
race the first 20 minutes of that, but I will be my own biggest critic there. Anyway, thank you for that introduction, and y'all are also pretty dang good at that storybook game too. Don't sell yourself short.
So I do have to ask Possum, how did you feel like with the wipe to Val? I was wondering how you kind of felt at that point. Because some of the play, I'm like, are you feeling a little behind at that point? It's never a good feeling with that to wipe on that fight, but kind of walk me through what your thought process was after that.
Basically, I said, like, kind of talking after the race to Funnelcakes, was like, I would like a refund on how I played the first 20 minutes of that. I can't remember the last time I took a wipe because I couldn't beat a boss at the package location. Should have just vampired the first time and not been greedy. And yeah, it was just very awkward. I did not play the early part of that well at all. There were a couple other missteps along the way. You know, again, I'll be my own biggest critic forever and ever, but there were a number of different things in there that did not go the way they should have. And I don't know why exactly. So I'll have to watch it back and see if I got into my own head or what happened with it. But
Yeah, it definitely could have happened. I mean, it definitely seemed like after, like you're kind of saying, that first 20 minutes, you kind of fell into more of a rhythm. Like things seemed to go a little bit smoother. You were up and down a little bit between the overworld and the underground, especially having to go back to get the darkness crystal. But all in all, like a pretty well run race and very tight. As you finished, and right now for us, Funnels is just going into Z.
yeah, I mean, huge shout outs to Funnelcakes being a relatively newer runner and putting on quite a good show. A great time. From what I can tell, we cleared the exact same checks. Just sounds like in a little bit different order. But I mean, that's still a great time on this flag setting. Going to be competitive with a lot of folks. So
Oh, for
definitely
sure. I
someone
mean,
to look out for.
yeah,
I mean,
he was clearing. So he was cleaning up the last of the objectives before going to the moon, as you were in the middle of Kainatsu. So definitely a tight race. And if you had gotten wombo comboed, if anything had happened on the Z fight, definitely could have turned out far different.
Yeah, I wasn't taking any chances. I even thought about a third gold dragon, but the two gold dragon fights were enough. Cecil with an adamant armor. As long as it doesn't end up where exactly Fu takes the opening counter nuke and explodes, which would have been incredibly unfortunate. I know that I only see one big bang there, or excuse me, two big bangs, but no wombo combo because I can get the nerf off. So it was one of those where it was very controlled, very comfortable, but it had basically a 1 in 4 chance to go off the rails from the start. So you just never know.
You don't, and I mean, and I would say like the difference between what I think could have been the difference between your times is you ended up picking up Cecil far earlier in the seed than Funnelcakes did, which probably helped your clear time since both of you already had the Excal at that point.
Yeah, from what we were kind of talking about, it sounded like it was less about the Excal maybe and more about the fact that my own boneheaded play of yeeting my ninja instead of my cane then allowed me to get through the Dark Elf in the Fey March, getting the Pinktail and really putting, the gas pedal down at that point. So a mistake actually turned out to work out in my favor there. I think that might have been the biggest swing, was just getting that early Pinktail.
That's true as well. Getting the dark, he got the Sand Ruby and did the Fey March quite a bit after you, so that is definitely a call out as well. And just to say, in the meantime, while we were talking, Funnelcake's now finishing up his run, very tight, about 5 minutes behind you. That is a great time and something he can definitely be proud of.
Yeah, again, GG's to Funnelcakes. Very well done, man.
Sorry, I've been dominating this a little bit, Harumph. Do you have anything for Possum?
yeah, like this, it's certainly here good here to get get the get the group started here with a win to start off here. There's a lot of tough names here left that you need to go through in this group here. What matchups here you look for? Looking forward to in the later stages here, and
Yeah, I mean, all of the matches are going to be great. I think probably, the two highlight matches, if you will, that are left are probably when I get to play Flurry and when I get to play Starman. Haven't scheduled with Starman yet, but Flurry and I will be doing battle Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So that one is my next race. I think it might be Flurry's second total because I think he has another one midway this week. But that's going to be one that I'm excited to play. I always love racing Flurry. We match up extremely well. I think on the ladder we've had somewhere around a half dozen races that have been within like 2 minutes. So it should be another really good one. I'm looking forward to that.
All right, well, I look forward here to seeing a race along the way here. You have had a lot of great results here in past tournaments here, and we're looking to see here what you're capable of doing as the tournament goes on.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate Moboy and Harumph, both of y'all doing comms. Harumph, I named you after the twin harp extraordinaire himself, Edward. I hope you appreciated that. I doubt you did. And thank you, Psycho, for doing the restreaming, and Bardic Panda for pushing and not eating the buttons. And I will defer the rest of my time to Funnelcakes. GG's again, Funnelcakes, and everyone stay healthy, stay blessed, and have a good night.
Great, thank you so much, Possum, and we will see if we can get Funnels in for a post-match interview. Oh,
and we have Funnelcakes here. GG's.
I was gonna say, just as I said something.
Thank you.
So first, I just want to congratulate you on an awesome run. Just 5 minutes behind Possum, who is definitely not a newer runner, and I know you coming out of Pink Puff. That's just amazing to see, and an amazingly well-run race tonight.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I'm feeling good about this race, even though I lost.
Yeah. Your thoughts on the race overall here? Having seen basically all of the key items of objectives of importance, on Earth.
I feel like I've seen a lot of these seeds where the moon's just got nothing usually. It's either you have 3 moon objectives and they lead to everything else, or it's just clear the Earth. And I feel like clearing the Earth has just done me a lot of good in any of my practice seeds or anything else I've run for this.
Some races here might sometimes they like to analyze their opponent's play here. They get or they may have a sense of how they race here. To see here where you stand at any particular point here. During the race here, did you feel here that you were, keeping pace? Did you feel like you're, trying to catch, you might be trying to catch up?
I felt pretty good throughout most of it, honestly. I knew some of the later bosses. I knew I wasn't as crisp as in my menuing or dealing with the bosses themselves, but my routing, I was happy with my routing, so I didn't feel like I was crazy far behind at any point.
Okay. Of course, you had, it was a great performance here. Maybe didn't get the result you were looking for here, but, certainly, a time here that's, very respectable here. And if the other competitors here don't know who you are here, they'll know who you are very soon. Is there anyone you want to call out for your future for your later races?
I'd be okay with the run back with Possum for second place. I want that run back.
It would certainly be, if it's anything like this race here, it's gonna be a must-watch race here. Moboy, do you have any?
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask, Funnel, do you feel like there's a spot where, you're looking back, you're like, oh, I can see this is what made the difference between the race. The one I kind of spoke to, and Possum was kind of talking back and forth on it is you did pick up Cecil a bit later than he did. With some of his routing choices, which kind of allowed him to clear certain things a little bit earlier, just because he is able to slap. And basically, he got the Pinktail fairly early out of Fey March, jumped over to turn that in, then went and turned in the Sand Ruby because he did Fey March earlier than you did, and then suddenly he's got an Adamant Armor Excal Cecil that's helping him blow up the rest of his checks. That's kind of a bit of an advantage for him.
No, it certainly is. And I think, I did a Dwarf, got the Pan, and then I followed the rest of that. And I kind of just wanted to commit to the decision I made, right? Like, I did Pan, and I'm like, I'm going to see Pan through wherever it takes me. And I probably could have gotten through those 2 bosses, but I wasn't super confident with where my levels or strength was at, so I'm like, I'm just going to go Fade Fey March until the end, and just commit to the Fade.
Okay. No, I completely understand that. And again, like, I don't think there were any major missteps there. This definitely felt like a bit of, rando gonna rando. I was telling Harumph, I'm just glad that Darkness Crystal was as buried behind that wagon as it was, because if either of you had gotten that Darkness Crystal early and then decided to go for the moon, that would have been pretty field bad.
That was my hope when I found Darkness, that Possum had gotten it earlier than me and hadn't walked up the tower. And I'm like, I gotta just take the chance.
Yep. That, and it was super tight. I mean, you were basically doing your, like, the Pinktail turn-in and the turning in the Sand Ruby when Possum was fighting Kainatsu at Bahamut. So very tight fights, and both of you executed extremely well. So, any last thoughts, any shout-outs before we let you go and rest up for your next match?
No, it was a good time to be here. I hope everyone enjoyed it, and I'm excited for the rest of my group now. I'm ready to put on a good show.
Great. Well, best of luck in your further races, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
All right. So, everybody who's still here, thank you so much for hanging in and watching this great race between Possum and Funnel. I want to just take the time to thank everybody who, spent their time here to support. So, shout-outs to my co-commentator, Harumph, Psychonaut, just doing his restream best, and Panda just clicking all of the buttons. Great to see everybody here. And it looks like we're going to be raiding over to Free Enterprise 1 for the Fly Eagles Fly versus NG Dave match. Just as the usual reminder, so you don't get bopped with the newspaper. No spoilers, and enjoy seeing that race and how that turns out. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you so much for your time, and we hope to see you again soon to watch these awesome matches.
Again, no spoiling the race here. The newspapers here are brand new.